Right, so for those of you who follow me on Instagram, you will know that this past week has been an absolute shit show with regards to consistency and staying locked in. And the biggest reason for that is because last week, Saturday, we decided to go out, have a couple of drinks. I wasn't able to dance because of my back, but still went to the club, got a couple of drinks, went for dinner, all of that type of stuff. Ended up coming home around 2 o'clock in the morning, maybe even later. Ended up going to bed at around 3. So, on top of being hungover and too lazy to prep my meals for the week ahead on Sunday or to do any planning whatsoever, it completely derailed my entire week. And now I've decided that I'm going to show you guys exactly how the domino effect works. If you don't start your week off right, if you don't use Sunday to plan your week ahead, what it's going to cost you if you don't do meal preps. And I'm going to show you an extreme, or rather a full Miro board of how that domino effect works. Right, now that I've got you guys in the Miro board, I'm going to give you a more in-depth version or explanation as to how missing one habit can completely derail your entire week and how it has done so for me this past week. So first of all, let's solve the root cause. Now, the root cause is obviously not sitting down on a Sunday, planning your week ahead or prepping your meals. So that means that no meals will be mapped out, no tasks, no time blocks, and no prioritization of goals. So not prioritizing what needs to be done and what is an essential. So what does that mean? So that means it's got daily impacts, right? Because there's no meal prep and the meals are not prepped for the week, it means that you're going to stay inconsistent with your meals. Now, being inconsistent with your meals is just going to put you further away from your goals. Okay, it's going to lead to poor food decisions. Okay, if you're not consistent, you don't have the meals prepped, there is a bigger temptation of going straight to the default, and that is simplifying your life by ordering things like Uber Eats. Okay, time draining from cooking. Because your meals aren't prepped, and because my meals weren't prepped this week, for example, I spent more time cooking than I'm supposed to. I'm still trying my best to get my meals in, but now instead of just pulling it out of the fridge, putting it in the microwave, I literally got to cook the meals from scratch. And that can take 30 to 40 minutes out of my day, just cooking and cleaning. Now, what does that mean? Because I'm now spending extra time cooking, it means that I have taken time out of my day where I'm supposed to be doing deep work. Okay. So I'm now missing out on work, or I have to push work further. So that's where the schedule starts to become derailed. Okay. Tasks get pushed, which means there's more stress and there's less structure. So what I had planned, or what I usually have set out, I'm now taking longer. I'm pushing work hours far later. Okay. This is also going to lead to incomplete meals. Now, obviously, you're going to be missing meals because everything's being pushed later. So you're going to fall off track. You're going to fall short from your nutrition and your recovery goals, sending you even further back. Now, this week, for example, my meals got way later. Let's say, for example, I would have my final meal at 8 p.m. Now, because I have to spend more time cooking, spend more time cleaning, my final meal is getting pushed all the way to about 10 o'clock. Okay, because I have to try and still fit in the work that I missed out on. So not only that, it's going to cause poor sleep, shitty sleep. Okay, because I'm eating at 10 o'clock rather than 8, that already takes my sleeping time and my bedtime later. Not only that, to fit in as many meals as I can and still try and hit my goals, I'm going to have my final meal just before bed, which I have been doing this past week. And that is cause digestion to happen whilst I'm asleep, meaning the sleep is interrupted. I'm waking up throughout the night. I'm not comfortable, and I wake up in a shitty mood. So that takes me to the next day cascade. Okay. So I woke up every day tired, absolutely scattered, because I had such a bad night's rest. I wasn't fully energized. I woke up like I didn't get the things I needed to get done yesterday, so I got to push it to today. So everything just kind of pushes forward, leaving me scattered. Okay, now mental state.
can affect your mental state, because now I'm feeling very overwhelmed. Okay. There was a day this week where I woke up and I was just so anxious. I think I made a video about it. And I just woke up with so much anxiety. I had to flip my mind right to get that out. But I could have completely avoided that if I just stuck to my normal routine. Okay. Now, the emotional spiral, that's where this comes in. Now, I'm someone that sets specific standards to myself, for myself. I'm ambitious. Yeah. I have goals that I want to achieve. And if I don't achieve them, I'll be extremely disappointed in myself. Okay. And the fact that I wasn't able to achieve the goals that I set out this week because of all of these things and not being able to fit everything in, it takes me a step back. Okay. And that step back takes me a step further away from the end goal. And that is disappointing. Okay. I have certain standards. I need to reach them. And if I don't reach them, it is going to affect me mentally 100%. That's just who I am. That's how I am. I want to be above the norm. I want to be that person who doesn't make his dreams just a dream, but actually turns it into a reality. So I do put pressure on myself 100%. Now, what is the lesson and the solution? So, first of all, the weekly planning needs to be an anchor habit that holds everything together. Okay. 1 hour out of your Sunday can literally save you up to 10 hours in your week, stress free hours. Structure equals freedom. Now, what a lot of people see is like when I post about how my structure is, how my schedule is, they're like, wow, that's way too much to take in. That's going to be such a mission to do. It's not. Once you've set up a structure and you follow it, for those of you who are busy, you will understand this. You've got work, you've got family, you want to achieve your fitness goals, you want to live a healthier, happier lifestyle. It's a lot. Okay. And without structure, without schedule, without routine, it's going to be difficult. Okay. So setting up these meals and these work blocks, setting up your sleep, setting up routines is just going to make your life way easier and way more stress free. And I wrote a little something here. When I plan, I perform. When I don't, I spiral. And that's what I'm going to leave you with today. So I am going to be creating another video for part 2 on this. That is going to be showing how I set up my structure, how I follow it, and what a difference it makes in my productivity. But I'll see you guys for the next one.